Hey guys, so today I want to talk about strings. And strings are just text or non-numerical values. So let me give you guys an example. Let's say I had a string and we wanted to call it name. And name's going to be equal to John. Let's print that out. And as you can see, our string that we put into our variable comes out as John. So pretty simple there. So C# also allows us to add strings together with something called concatenation. So let's take a look at that. Let's go back to our right line, console right line here, and let's say my name is, and we're going to use the plus sign, add this text to our string that's already defined. So let's see what that'll look like. And as you can see, it says my name is John, except is and John are one word. So let's fix that. What we're able to do in C# is add double quotes to signify space. So my name is space name. Now, be sure you give a space in between the quotes, because that's how much space C# is going to give in between the two strings. So let's take a look. You see, my name is John, and everything's spaced out appropriately. All right, so let's look at another example. Let's change some things around. Let's say we changed this variable to first name. Let's create another string. Let's call this last name. Let's say Doe. And then another string. Let's call it full name. And what we're going to do is we're going to make full name equal to first name plus last name. Oh, sorry, guys. Now, remember in our example below, we have to add the spaces or it's going to read this as one word. So let's do that. Quote, space, quote, plus, and we're going to change that variable here and call it full name. And now it displays the full name. My name is John Doe. So let's talk a little bit about the string class itself. So the string class is a part of the system naming space. And when you declared your string, you might have noticed that the namespace was no longer grayed out for system. So when you create a variable for string, you're creating an object of the string class. And that object has access to all the methods that are available through the string class. So let me show you guys an example. Let's take our first name. So first name, and as soon as you hit the dot, you get a lot of options that come up. So this first tab are the properties. So what you see here is length, and that tells you how many characters are in that variable. And the second tab over are your methods. These are ways that you can manipulate your string. So let's take a look at one. Let's say upper. So upper takes a string and makes all the characters in it uppercase. And what we can do is assign this to another string. So string upper equals first name to upper. So let's print that out. As you can see, it took our first name John and it capitalized all the letters. Let's take a look at one more. Let's do this with the last name. So last name, and there's one method that's called contains. It returns a bool of whether or not that variable contains a given text. So we can say contains dough, and we can make a bool. Let's call this answer equals last name contains dough. So it's simply asking, does this variable contain this text? Let's take a look. Oh, sorry, I forgot to add the printout. So let's do that. And as expected, our printout is true because the string dough is contained in the variable last name. So next, why don't we do a challenge for you guys? Why don't you create a new variable and make it all uppercase and then use the lowercase method to basically make all the variables lowercase. All right, I hope you guys were able to do it. So let's just look at an example. So let's say string. Let's just call it text equals this, sorry, all uppercase. This is C#. Then we're going to create another string. We're going to call this lower. It's going to be equal to lower. And we're going to print that out. And as you can see, this is C#. And that's what we expected. All right. I think that's a good stopping spot. See you guys in the next video.